Who am I here with today?
Hi, my name is Manoo Assa, and I'm a director of AI Ops in CCCIS back in Chicago.
Going to some of the practical questions for the future generation. So there are a lot of students who wants to learn AI with this hype of AI, which is pretty crazy. And as an AI expert, what would you say are some of the key things that they should focus on in order to become proficient in AI development?
Lately, everything is open source and documented. So I would say that first off, being passionate about AI, what's going on lately. There are many verticals in AI that you can do, right? And I would say that you have to pick which one you want. The best way to have it is that at least have a couple of internships within the companies, and that way makes you get exposure to different technologies, different projects. Try to be pervasive in the AI works so you can understand which one is your gig and focus on one of them and be the best at it.
Gotcha. So would you say doing projects is always the way to go? Or do you think reading books or watching videos and watching lectures are also very important? I would just like to ask more the specific, tangible steps that people could take.
Well, I'm an industry guy, so I would say that it's good to have always a good knowledge. You should have that, but with a purpose, right? And always I try to, when we have a new interns, we actually assign them some practical project. It's not something that it goes into dumpster. I'll try to give a very small piece, but very efficient and productionized piece of project to our interns. And I know they don't know anything, and I don't care about they don't know it. I care about how fast they can learn it, right? And we're in that environment that the sources are available, right? We have Coursera, Udemy, open source. There are lots of tools that we can get, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that be committed to a project that pushes you to learn about this stuff. So I would say that this should go hand in hand. But yeah, I think having an industry experience is one of the must. Even at the academia level, I think all of these capstone and practicum projects are the best way to get connected to what's going on in reality and how the business is meeting the tech in the back. Yeah.
Right. So practical projects. And do you feel that having a guided mentor while doing those practical projects is really important? Or do you think people can do this themselves? And does it depend on the situation? What are your 2 cents on that?
Depends on the individual, I would say. The new graduate ones, they need some trigger. That might be some push, or there might be some incentive or different sort of things. So I wouldn't generalize this framework. I would say that really depends on the goal of that person and the character they have. Some people are go grab the guy, right? But some people are very good at research. They need the direction. So I think as a leader, the AI leaders, everybody should be close watching their resources and based off them, adjust these task assignments. Yeah.
And speaking of AI leadership, so there are a lot of people who wants to jump on the hype train of AI and use AI, but there are a few folks who are really leading in the field of AI, right? And for you, what would you say are some of the tangible differentiators between someone who is just using AI, casually using AI on the surface versus people who are really proficient in AI? They know what they're talking about.
I would say there are a couple of layers of AI when we're talking. So the foundation part, the foundation models are the ones that see it in Bay Area, Silicon Valley the most. They are the companies that their backgrounds are full of PhDs in AI, and they are doing the fundamental work in the research, and they are building something that can be used for the next layer. That next layer will be someone who's developer. Those developers still could be someone that are helping the whole community, and that's why how we see the Python packages or the new open source are released. And the next layer will be the industry who are going to adopt, right? And all of them, I think that's matters for this industry, because at the end of the day, we need all 3 layers, but it starts from the bottom up, right? And then this is how we can differentiate. Depends that how we want to look for our approach, what problem we want to solve, right? Maybe ours is very research based, right? So we should look at a lower level versus the ones that you would like to use as a provider or vendors, right? So we should look at the layer 2 or mainly layer 3 of that.
And what would you say are some of the tangible practical advice that you would tell your 20-year-old self?
I think networking is very important. And we were talking about it before.
Right.
I think that in the early stage of your life, you're still trying to figure out what you're going to do. But I would say that, try to be connected to anyone. Well, of course, you have a goal, but it doesn't matter. That's going to digress or it goes to another. You pivot, it goes to another goal. Try to know everyone. I think at the end of the day, everybody can be useful, can bring you
expand your options.
Exactly. So I would say that, although you're having fun at your early stage, partying around, but always keep that in mind. Network is a good thing. Try to be passionate and learn about what other people are doing and be a good listener, and those people will be your network.
Well, shifting gears a little bit towards more the purpose questions, but also still related to AI. What drives you to do what you do in your work in AI?
Yeah.
And on a related note, what are some of the things that you feel that people even in AI developing spaces overlook? and things that need more attention.
I've been doing this 10 years, and I started from like a computer vision problem.
Okay.
And when there was like a Terraform, Keras, the PyTorch later on added.
Yes.
So I knew that this is going to be something that could automate a lot. I'm happy that after this large language model, a lot of companies got exposed to this concept, but it was not like such a very new concept. But I think there are a lot of opportunities for the companies to understand that what are the things can be automated. And that's why you see all of these companies are maxing out their CapEx and everything because they want to explore more, right? And I think that's for a good reason. Any transformational technology needed that. And of course, it's going to eliminate some jobs, but it's going to produce new ones we haven't heard of, right?
Yes.
This shift, the fast shift of technology excites me every day that I would like to work on. And one of the subjects that needs to be taken care of in the AI world is that as we are adopting this technology, there should be some governance around that. And without that, having it in a large scale, it might hurt your brand because the impact is high, is huge. And
so do you think this is practically important for the company, even
absolutely,
for
yes, because it could go like hallucination, data breach. It might be some scalability issue, customer trust issue. So everything should be in a framework. I think companies need to be very careful about that. And there's a couple of solutions about it, but it's not like as a comprehensive frameworks. And I hope that in the future, we see more of these solutions.
And two final questions for me. Would you say for people who might be a little skeptical about themselves, their ability to learn AI, oh, it's too late for me to learn AI, I'm already a college student, or I'm already a corporate worker. Do you think that it's never too late to learn AI? Do you think, of course, it's always helpful to, have learned it when you were young, but do you think it's not too late for them? Do you think AI is a field that people can really dive into to become great at, even post-college?
Absolutely. I think now these days everything is much faster, especially with this code generation, the assistant that are coming. One example is that this Claude code is amazing. In our time, it used to be a long time to write the code, the unit test of it. Now you can do it in a fraction of the cost and time, right? So I guess it's a very good opportunity. You can build something today. You can build something very impressive today, and you can try to expand that. So I guess I would encourage everyone to learn about this technology at any scale. Again, I go to those 3 layers that I mentioned, depends on how deep you want to be. But either of them, I think in the near future, knowing AI, knowing how to work with AI is one of the must and requirement for all jobs.
So you think that everyone should at least learn how to code?
Not necessarily coding, but working with AI.
Working with AI.
Like at some point, the prompt engineering but coding for sure, yes. Coding is much more easier. And coding has been like very prompt engineering based as well. You should have some background, but most of it can be done by the agent codes and the code assistant. Yeah.
Sounds great. And final question: our channel is called The Good Return.
Yes. It's a very good channel. I recommend to everyone.
Thank you. The question is, what last piece of advice would you like to leave with the future generation, and what does it look like for you to leave a good return back to the world?
I always say, I'm I'm trying to find my way as well. But I guess what has occurred to me: try to build something and add value. Not necessarily as like the product or something. Try to add some value and generate something. And I guess that's my advice to everyone. I think that we are here for 70, 80 years in the world, and our goal is to contribute as much as we could to the society that we are at, to the communities that we are at. And it could be by building a new technology, by helping, providing the services. And honestly, in the world of entrepreneurship, as we are talking, I've seen the most successful founders, the ones that actually trying to help and resolve some problems, not thinking about the money or all of these things that should come as the aftermath. Those will come, right? But the most important concern that they have was that I need to make something better. And that's, I think, should be a goal to any human being.
Yeah, thank you. You have great advice. Thank you so much for joining the channel.
Thank you.
Thank you.